If you were an engineer before you became an entrepreneur, this story probably happened to you at some point. The so-called clueless sales guy at the startup you work for promises a feature to a customer. He closes the deal, he gets the money, and obviously leaves you on the hook to implement the damn thing. And there's a deadline too, and it's way too close, and you have no chance to meet it. But you don't have a choice. Seething, you work like hell and barely get it built in time. Then, exhausted, you tell the sales guy it's ready. Barely. But there are all these limitations that you couldn't resolve in time. He looks up at you, smiles, and says, oh yeah, that's really awesome, thanks. Look, these guys are actually on a company retreat for the next couple of weeks, so we aren't going to deliver anything yet. I talked to them, and it's all good. What the actual Why did that asshole promise something you could barely build in the first place on a deadline he knew you couldn't meet? And why didn't the customer care? What is going on? And more importantly, what can we as entrepreneurs learn from this sales engineering divide for our own businesses, where we simultaneously play the engineer, the salesperson, the CEO, and a host of other roles? We engineers deal in absolutes. For us, the world is binary. A piece of code either works or it doesn't. We either delivered on our promise or we didn't. We thrive on logic, on precision, on predictability. Our minds are geared towards finding elegant solutions to complex problems, but we can only do this when the problems are well defined and we have sufficient time and resources to do the work. Salespeople, on the other hand, deal with messy, complex, and irrational human beings. They operate in a realm where emotions, perceptions, and relationships are as important and sometimes more important than facts and logic. They can and should read between the lines, understand unspoken needs, and navigate through the gray areas of human interactions. These skills allow them to forge connections, they allow them to build trust, and they allow them to close deals even when the product or service is still on the drawing board or is half broken. Their success hinges on their ability to sell a vision, often with kind of the unspoken understanding that the path to realizing that vision, and even the vision itself, may change quite a bit. We engineers find this infuriating. For us, a promise is a promise, a deadline is a deadline, as a deal is a deal. But as we saw in the example above, the strict adherence to our version of morality can lose us valuable deals, deals that could make our customer very happy and us potentially very rich. The reality of the entrepreneurial life is that needs and wants change rapidly. And to close a sale, you often need to be able to wave your hands a little bit and project confidence in your ability to deliver something that you're not sure you can deliver. Your relationship with your customers is this careful dance of negotiations, promises, trust, and both sides often bend the truth a little bit to close a deal. So, you have a choice to make. You can stick to your guns and only promise what you're absolutely sure you can deliver. You'll be safe, knowing you're on the right side of honesty, you'll avoid difficult conversations, and you'll take on minimal risk. Or you can realize that as valuable as this approach is in the engineering context, it's not actually ideal in the murkier realm of business. You can acknowledge that business deals are based on trust, not truth, and that trust can be built with open and honest communication, even if you miss a deadline or can't implement a certain thing in the way you thought you would. The choice is yours. Now, you know that marketing bootcamp I keep talking about? I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't actually teach marketing there. I mostly teach sales. Because before you can do any kind of marketing, ads, social media, SEO, etc., you need to be able to convince a few people to pay for your product directly. And that's sales. It's not about tricks, or about being pushy, or about talking fast. It's actually about listening, and about being curious, and about being a decent human being. And despite appearances, engineers are human beings and therefore can become outstanding salespeople, especially for their own products. Now, if that's something you might be interested in, I'd love to talk to you. You can post a comment down here and we'll find a good time for a chat.